In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Hello and welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Woohoo! Woo! What's your summer aesthetic?
Ooh. It does feel a lot like summer in this heavily curtained room.
Yes, no, I think there's no better way to enjoy a
fine summer's eve.
I'm boiling to death.
I think wasn't yesterday like the hottest day of the year?
In the universe?
Ever? The hottest day of the year ever?
It's certainly the highest Easter bank holiday weather it's been for quite a while.
And what a lovely day it was.
It was indeed. And how do we celebrate the hottest day of the year? We recorded another podcast yesterday, actually.
We had a lot of indoors time.
Now, speaking as a homeowner,
sure.
I'm starting to appreciate... Now, guys, back me up here.
Hashtag relatable.
Always bragging, this guy with his homeowner talk.
Speaking as a man with a mortgage,
sure.
I'm actually appreciating how cool this house is in the heat.
Oh, good.
Good. That is good.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's something
That's a selling point.
you wouldn't have known yet until this time round, I guess. Because we did buy our houses kind of around the same time in summer last year.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure it wasn't this sort of summery.
It was quite snowy, I recall, this time last year.
I do remember...
Still, that climate change isn't a thing, is it? So that's good.
Yeah, it's definitely not happening.
That's definitely not the case at the moment.
Well, I do remember that about... It's weird, like I'm saying right now that, doesn't this house feel very nice and cool and airy on a hot day? I do remember like a year ago being called out at least a couple of times because the smoke alarms were going off.
Oh, that's right. That is true, that did happen, yeah.
Yeah, because that was when we weren't yet living here.
Yeah.
And we were in the process of hosting an event that weekend, a comics-related
Right.
event.
You got a phone call?
I did get a phone call, yeah. Well, no, someone... anyway, a neighbour found me on Facebook and said...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
By the
What
way...
an incredible invasion of privacy that was.
By the way, the smoke alarm in your new house has been going off for like 5 days.
100 days.
Yeah,
solid.
and I was like, oh dear. And I remember like, because I had a few beers.
Bevies.
A few bevies.
Yeah,
just to
you-
celebrate.
couple of
you
tinnies,
got it.
with the
You
boys.
got it.
Yeah, just a couple of bevies with the boys. It was fine.
Bit of a de-stress.
Just
A few
celebrate.
cans of special brew on the corner, you know.
And
I had a few less,
yeah.
I think. So I drove you around, didn't I?
Yes,
There
you
you
did.
go.
Yeah. And,
Winner.
victory sip. And I remember we threw open the door, and it was like a furnace.
Yeah.
Like it was horrendous. Like.
Yeah,
Was that why it was going off then?
I think it was the heat and the fact that we'd had like a wall knocked down.
It was dusted.
And it was just like endless.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was like being in a fire,
Yeah, but not actually.
but not actually on fire.
Just further.
Mercifully, yeah.
Yeah.
So, fun times.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
I
Well, we had a barbecue yesterday. There was fire at that.
delightful. Yeah,
It was.
No, it certainly was.
Controlled flames.
Controlled fire-ish.
Ish.
And your sausages.
Well, I ate them.
I also had two.
There you go. See?
Yeah, there you go. How were they?
And you've not been ill today?
Not like...
Not really ill.
No, yeah.
You haven't been in hospital or anything?
No, well,
That's
only
fine
for an
then.
hour or so.
Yeah, it's fine
that
then.
doesn't count,
They
really.
can keep you in, so that's
Not in
fine.
any way that could legally be traced to meat.
No, exactly.
That'd
I
be
mean, I
consumed.
evacuated my entire stomach contents so quickly that they were like, I think he's free to go, actually.
Oh, as soon as the guests left last night, I was straight in the toilet.
For real.
Yeah.
Oh my! Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, tastes just as good.
On the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a delightful barbecue.
It was alright though, wasn't it? And I thought I rated it.
Do you know what was nice?
Go on.
That halloumi.
Oh, I love halloumi.
Yeah, well, you can thank Liz for the halloumi.
I was going to say, whose idea was the halloumi?
I think it was Liz's idea, yeah.
No, it's nice.
Liz is responsible for all the good ideas.
She had
I just burn things.
halloumi discs.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was it. Yeah.
A reconstituted cheese.
Well,
disc.
we had a lot of leftover food, so I've been eating mainly barbecue food today.
It's a dream come true.
Yeah, it's been great.
When I was in Canada, I lived in Canada for a while.
Oh, yeah, I went to Japan, didn't you?
No, I just don't care. But they had a bit of a thing about putting beetroot in a burger.
Really? What, like a slice of beetroot?
Yeah, like a slice of beetroot.
What, grilled beetroot?
No, just
raw
beetroot.
beetroot.
Yeah, like,
I'm
well,
not sure how I
not
feel
raw,
about
not
that.
from the earth, not from
Well,
God's
they
pantry.
chopped it. They chopped it up.
Yeah, like
Put it in some brine.
What I imagine.
Was it a single slice?
Yeah.
Like
or
a-
if you're feeling adventurous, you could go bigger.
Don't they put beetroot in
Cake.
cake?
Chocolate cake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It gets like an earthy kind
Goes
of.
everywhere, doesn't it?
Soily.
Beetroot.
It's like an earthy tang.
Yeah. Put it with anything.
Just eat soil.
I used to have to do when I worked in the school science lab. We used to have to do an experiment where you have to get raw beetroot, core it. So we had like these little metal cores, and then drop the bits you took out in alcohol to see how much dye you could get out of it because it went like bright.
Was it a lot?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you could have saved us some. Where were you? You could have saved all that experimenting.
Well, I would have guessed it would be a lot.
So my hypothesis, it's
That
a
would
lot.
be, it'll be a lot because beetroots are like quite
Staining.
colourful, aren't they?
They are.
Mm-hmm.
What a scientist. I didn't know this was going to be an educational podcast.
Oh,
It's just we've just fallen into the educational side of
It
things.
just comes
I think.
naturally to us.
Well, your knowledge is just a basic human endeavour, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it's really,
I try my best.
The three of us are so gifted in it.
Cheers.
all the best.
Drinking the Aldi own brand that was left over from last night.
I was going to say this tasted significantly better last night.
Yeah. Galahad.
Who's got a hey? There is a format here.
Oh yeah. Go on, I'll do one if you want.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. All right. I'll do it then. Go on then.
Yeah, go on.
Superstitions
Oh.
is my hate today. Now I don't disagree with the concept of superstitions.
Okay.
in principle.
Because I myself am guilty of them. I hate when superstitions go too far.
Oh no.
Oh, I see.
When you're-
superstitions.
When
go too far.
superstitions become something that's debilitating.
It's very football related.
There is a football related element to this
Okay.
because I am very superstitious around football.
No.
I believe it.
Believe it, baby.
Believe it. For example, do you know the brand Addison Lee?
Yes, the taxi brand.
It's a taxi brand / courier, I believe,
Oh, I see. Okay.
that goes around London.
Yeah.
Whenever I see an Addison Lee logo in London on the day of a game, I know in my head we won't win the game. Gillingham, this is.
Okay.
If you just see it.
If I see the logo on the back of a car driving around London and I'm on the bus
Right.
and I see it, I'm like, fuck,
So,
we're going to lose the game now.
and do you like actually fully, like in your heart of hearts, believe that?
If I see the logo, I immediately go to myself, for fuck's sake. I do, genuinely.
Really?
And that is it going too far in my brain.
That's
Yes.
true.
Superstitions.
Okay, yes.
I probably disproved it also dozens of times, but in my head, that automatically means we're not going to win the game.
You need to make a conscious effort to remember a time that your team wins
See-
when you see what Addison Lee.
What I did one time was because it goes through Heathrow, my bus to London from Cheltenham
Right.
stops Heathrow. So I saw one at Heathrow and I thought, fuck, I've seen one.
That's it.
But we won the game that
Right,
day.
so
But
you-
that was at Heathrow. That wasn't in London.
So now,
So
okay,
now,
this
so
is
now
even
that's an
worse.
extension of the superstition going beyond the
You're
original
building
superstition.
More mythology and lore
Exactly.
around your own.
It's going
superstition.
too far for that reason. See, I've made excuses that has to continue as a superstition when we all know it doesn't.
Yeah.
In my head, it's called magical thinking. I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Magical thinking.
Magical thinking. It's a belief that something you do or see affects something that in no way
Yeah.
is your responsibility.
Okay.
I think it might just be part of like the human genome. Like we can't get enough of it.
We can't deal with the things that go bump in the night without coming up
Yeah.
with a story for how and why
Exactly.
we can prevent
You
it.
imagine like some kind of ancient like ape ancestor like banging a rock on a stick until the sun comes up and then just going like, oh my god,
how it works.
like, look what I did.
I have the power.
I must do this for the rest of my life.
Jerry, come down. You don't have to keep banging that rock. I'm asking. No,
I do.
The sun's not going to come up if I don't, Sandra.
I'm doing this for you.
Ancient Jerry.
But I feel like I do it mostly around football. One year I had so many superstitions, and I thought eventually in my brain I figured out that if I told a certain friend about those superstitions, the superstition would become null and void.
Was it me?
So that no, it wasn't you.
Oh.
So that it
You
was
just
Phil.
told both of us now, though.
But that's an old one. They change from season to season.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm not crazy.
I think that does make you crazier.
So I would tell him what the superstition was without him knowing that was part of the superstition. And then that particular
that's how you
superstition would
went-
end.
What do you mean casually? You just say like, I've seen a lot of Addison Lee taxis today.
For example,
you'd be
but
like,
this
"Does that mean
superstition
something?"
came after that. It was a year. I can't remember what year it was.
Okay.
But I would say, oh yeah, I've got this superstition that when something happens, like if I see a ladybird on a window or whatever, this wasn't one of them.
Could be now, though.
That Jills, yeah, oh, damn it, that Jills would lose or Jills would do this or that, and the
Yeah.
other. And by telling him, and that happened more than once that season, that superstition evaporated.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But that in itself became the superstition.
That you had to tell Jim.
Jim. Let's call him Jim.
Call him Jim.
Sometimes, like with these old old wives' tales, folklore and stuff, there's often like a weird grain of truth, hidden in it. So the question is, what is the correlation between Addison Lee taxis and Gillingham?
I wish
losing?
I knew.
Yeah,
I wish I knew.
You say they're also a courier.
It's it's a London transport system of sorts.
So could there be some reason where, like, if a team aren't getting the exercise they need, like maybe...
But Gillingham's not in London.
Kind of.
It's about an hour out.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe how many of the players, like maybe instead of jogging...
They could get Addison Lee.
Yeah, that's the point. So when you see all these Addison Lee taxis...
that means they're spending their energy jogging when they could be in Addison Lee cars.
No, what I'm saying is they should be jogging, getting fit prior to the game.
What you mean.
When
Instead
really,
they're hopping in Addison
it's always
Lee
fat
cars.
That
cats,
could
but
be a
it's
link. I mean, that's anecdotal as a link, isn't it?
Yeah,
but sure, yeah, let's say that's it.
There could be some kind of like...
Because that justifies how crazy I am.
Wow.
Yeah, in a way. That bit of it, anyway.
Is
not
there
the
not?
rest.
Is there not? Now, you might know, because you're a fan of football.
Yeah, I'd say so, yes.
Footballsman.
James Footballman.
You're also a successful sports journalist.
Okay.
Yes, okay, yeah. Two of those are
Two of
correct.
those, yes.
Is there not a thing in big professional football about socks? Are there not a few...
Well, because a lot of the programme features in football games before the games you get a match day programme, blah, 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 all the guff, match reports, but you'll usually have a player interview. You'd be like, do you have any superstitions before the game? And the only one players seem to have which foot the sock goes on first.
Really?
Little things like that. And they have little superstitions around that. There's a player called Paul Ince who played for Man United, Liverpool, Inter Milan, England, among others.
Yeah.
And he would only put his shirt on as he was going out the tunnel.
Huh.
Like, he wouldn't put it on in the changing rooms. Every time...
That's because you just wanted to show off his abs.
Probably, yeah. That's probably why. But every single time he was in the tunnel, he was topless with holding his shirt, and then he put it on and he was getting out the tunnel.
Was he also kind of rubbing like exotic oils into his skin at the same time?
He looked like he smelled fantastic.
Photographers around him, like you
got it. You got to have photographers, otherwise what's the point in doing
What's the point in doing anything? I feel like a lot of these things sort of are born out of the fact that you realise you've been doing something the same way a few times, and then one day you're like, isn't it funny? I always put my left sock on first, and you're like, I'm going to put my right sock on first instead. Then you lose the match, break your leg, your wife leaves you, your house explodes. And all your
that was a bad weekend.
You're like,
what did you do?
What did I change?
How many Addison Lee cars did you see?
I'm genuinely trying to think if I have any superstitions.
Well, I have like routines and things like that.
Yeah, routines.
I think when does a routine become a superstition, I suppose? It's like when I'm checking locks at work.
Yeah. I think it's when you think it connects to something else.
Yeah.
Routine is one thing, like, I'd better check I've got my wallet, check I've locked the front door. Those things all have an obvious cause and effect. But if you think that an Addison Lee viewing will connect to a Jill's loss, then you're a maniac.
Thank you.
Because I guess you don't have any say in the number of taxis you see.
Exactly.
The
thing is, it's one of those interesting things that probably dozens and dozens of things happen every time I go into London that I just have never picked up on.
Yeah.
And because I picked up on that, that's become a big deal. Which is sort of my point, that I hate that that's become a big deal.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind superstitions per se, if they're nice little quirky things or whatever, that adds to someone's personality. But me being afraid to see a fucking car every time I go to London is mental.
Certainly if you're walking around with your eyes closed, trying to avoid such things.
In London, that's super dangerous.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't. Don't do that in London. Whatever you do.
I have a superstition-y thing
Go
I
on.
do, which is where I'll be walking down a pavement by the side of the road, and if there are drains coming up, if there's one drain on its own, never step on a single solo drain, right?
Okay.
But if there are the drain covers, if there are two drain covers that are touching each other, you can step 1 foot on one, another foot on the other, and carry on. So you just step on two drains. If there were 3 or more drains connected together, you can only step on 2 of them.
Don't step on 3 drains.
Never 3 drains.
Never
1 drain.
Okay.
Only ever 2 drains.
Never step on 3 in a row. Never.
Or 4 in a row, 5 in a row, or 1.
I had a friend who swore by that. I have a friend.
I still do it.
Yeah.
I still do
but
it
he
every day.
swears by it. And that's what got that into my head originally.
Yeah.
And he would never step on 3 in a row.
Wait, so you've both you're both familiar with this. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like
I got this from someone else.
This is a thing that
I think
people
it
do.
might be a thing.
Right,
Yeah,
this is a
like
thing.
a mimetic infection.
He shortly after telling me he was doing that, being superstitious and avoiding them, he caught a disease called encephalitis,
Oh, jeez.
which was a brain disease,
Oh my
and meant he kept forgetting things. So I was like, well, that's not really working out for you. That's superstition, is it? So I'll probably give that one a miss.
See, I've like you have, like I started to adjust the law and the mythology.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll accidentally not look where I'm stepping. I'll step on one drain, and I'm like, "Fuck!" in my head. Like genuinely, I get this moment like, "Shit, I've stepped on one drain now." So I start a 30-second countdown in my head, and I've got to step on 2 drains before that 30-second countdown goes down. Otherwise, I lose all of the luck I've banked.
So this is what
up until that point.
This is the sort of thing I'm getting at. This is when superstitions go too far.
This is when they go wrong.
I think I'm really trying to think because I'm not trying to say that like I'm beyond all this. I'm not trying to say like I'm a Vulcan.
You're much better than this,
Oh,
Joe.
I see.
I'm not like some kind of like emotionless robot. Like I must have superstitions. I have a lot of routines which I can't quite break.
But it's like, do you not say something because you're worried the opposite may happen? Things like that.
Yeah, do you believe in like jinxing stuff?
I must have. I mean, there's that whole thing where like you never want to celebrate a good thing.
Yeah.
Because like, don't whatever you're doing, don't
just
say
don't say it,
yeah,
don't say it.
draw attention to it. I check. This is more routine. I check door handles a lot. Like
For what?
That they're not unlocked. Even if I
What? It's a place you don't want to go into.
no, just like
Oh,
I guess
no, no.
I don't know. Maybe this is just like good security measures, but like even though I know
You've locked the
I've
door.
locked a door, it's the kind of thing like where you try to leave the house.
Yeah, I do this sometimes.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I will get halfway down the street and go.
Oh, I do.
back,
I
double
do.
back,
I do
yeah.
that.
But that's
I
not.
do
I'm
do
not sure
that.
that's entirely the same though. It's like
Well, that's security, but that's a neuroses as much as superstitions, I'd say.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a separate effect that you're worried of by causing by
Yeah.
doing the thing before. So you're checking the door locking because you think you may not have locked a door. That's pretty sensible, really, even if you know in your head that you're sure you have.
It's worth double checking.
It's always worth a double check.
You got to.
But-
you got to.
oh, you got it.
Otherwise, the criminals will come.
If you thought that by checking a door handle that was locked, you would trigger a broken leg later in the day, then now we're talking superstition.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? No.
No.
No, I'm really struggling to think.
Maybe you don't.
well, that's fine.
Maybe you check in
But
later. in the show
that's
and you come up
healthy.
with
That's healthy, John.
Maybe I'm some kind of-
saying what I do is unhealthy.
So what you're
Yeah,
saying
me
is
too.
I'm an enlightened super being, is what you're saying.
Well, not in so many words.
Oh no.
I mean, that's not.
But reading between the lines, I guess that is exactly what I'm saying.
They say that sailors are very superstitious.
They do say that. Yeah.
For what?
There used to be
what
that if you had a
things?
woman on board, that was a bad thing, wasn't
Really?
it?
Just
Back in the-
having-
back in
That
the-
just
back in
sounds
the
very
day.
sexist.
It's very
It's
super-
very, very sexist.
Probably because she'd be very distracted.
There's the classic actor thing about
Scottish play.
the Scottish play.
Yeah. And
Break
break
a
a
leg.
leg.
Break
Yeah,
a
break a
leg.
leg. Wait, so what? You should say break a leg or not say?
You
break
should
a
say
leg?
break a leg. You shouldn't say good luck.
You shouldn't say good luck to an actor before they go
Ah.
on stage.
But apparently, the root of that phrase is that the outer perimeter edges on either side, stage right and stage left, are referred to as the legs. And breaking a leg comes from the Globe Theatre with Shakespeare. Because what used to happen is they had to have loads of extras for like crowd scenes, but you'd only get paid if you were on the stage. And the extras would gather in the sides and weren't quite on the stage, and they wouldn't be paid if they didn't break the leg
Very
and get
good.
onto the stage and thereby receive a paycheck.
So
of
you're,
like a
saying,
penny.
you're kind of saying like get out there.
Get out there, get yourself out there.
Ah.
But it's kind of like evolved
Yeah.
into the idea of an opposite of
I didn't
good
know that.
luck.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
This is entirely unrelated, but I had a couple of friends who I knew at uni.
You have friends outside the three of
It's
us?
astonishing.
For
yeah, no.
goodness sake, why don't you make a podcast with them?
Jesus.
I had a life once. Podcasts weren't a viable platform back then.
Still aren't.
We make nothing from this.
Nothing. I can't stress that enough.
But they'd gone to like say Glastonbury. They'd gone to like a festival,
Let's say Glastonbury.
and
The most popular of all the festivals.
you've got your tent. You know, you've done.
I've
both done.
We've done.
Been to,
both
been
done
to
it.
Glastonbury.
I've
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I've lived a sheltered life.
I'm done with it.
I think I am as well,
my,
to be honest.
my back would hurt too
I'm
much
done with
now.
festivals now.
Hay
Yeah.
fever would kill me. Like this is the brief window of summer. This weekend, I think, is all I get of
You get the
summer.
sun without the hate.
But they'd been dancing, enjoying the music. They had some drinks, and they come back to their tent. You know, I imagine through a sea of tents, and they
It is pretty much.
crawl into their tent, and they kind of go to sleep, and then they'd be lying there for like
Is this?
Yeah, they're lying there for like...
It's just popped into my head what you're going to say.
10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour or something.
Right.
And then they hear a drunk lady kind of walking by the tent.
Sure.
And she's trying to find her way back to her tent.
Sure.
And of course, bear in mind, tent walls are not exactly thick. No.
Correct.
And she's kind of wandering along. And she trips over one of the guy ropes on their tent. And she falls over. So geographically, she must be like inches away from them. And she's like, oh no, I've really hurt myself. Somebody help me. And they're both just like lying there going like, I'm sure she's fine. Like, just keep quiet. I'm sure she's fine. She's like, I've really hurt myself. Somebody needs to help me. And they're just like...
I love that choice of phrasing.
And they're like...
Somebody needs to help me.
You know, she's like crying and she's like, oh, my leg hurts so much. And they're like, no, she's fine. She'll get over it. Just keep quiet. It's fine.
I love the fact that she could probably hear them going, no, it's fine. She won't be able to hear.
And people are like, are you all right, love? And I... So I think I've hurt my leg. And, and then all these people start gathering and then lights start coming. And it says that she'd broken her leg.
Oh my God!
And an ambulance kind of drove up.
And they're just like...
Yeah, they're still just lying.
And the lights are kind of flickering. And everyone's like, is there somebody in that tent? No, there can't be. I think there is. No.
There can't be. They'd have come out by now, surely.
But you just see their shadow of them going,
They can't be human if they're staying in there.
They'd be monsters if they hadn't come to help.
Oh, God.
They're just going to come out and just be like, oh, I was in a coma.
You kind of like faking like a big yawn. Like,
what's going on?
Good morning. Oh, has there been an accident?
Oh, no.
Oh, good morning, officer. How are you?
Oh,
That's your guy rope.
That's entirely unrelated, but there we go.
Probably a superstition involved.
Probably
somewhere.
superstition. Well, I always think the master of disproving superstition is Derren Brown.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw a show where he tried to disprove superstitions. There was a specific show about it. And there was one where something on a dartboard, if you do all this, that, and the other in a row, I think it involved the drain covers. He took this woman round a town and went, right, we're going to do all these things that are considered bad luck.
Bad luck, yeah.
So, walk on drains, blah, blah, blah.
Black cat walks in front of you.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Step under a ladder, blah, blah, blah. Put shoes on a table.
Yeah, open umbrella indoors.
Open umbrella
Smash
indoors. And then he said, right, I've got a dartboard here, and you're going to stand there and throw one dart. If you get the bullseye, I'm going to give you 10 grand. And she'd done all this unlucky stuff throughout the day. Bang, nailed the bullseye.
What?
First time.
Gee.
Well, that's the way they edited it anyway.
least,
But
yeah.
I believe in my
yeah.
mind that happened.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh my God, that's amazing. and then the show ends and the credits roll. And then it comes up with a caption, Susan died on the way home. And I think it was a joke, but they never clarified it. But it freaked me out. I was like, oh no, she died on the way home.
It's funny.
Well, that's done. It's reinforced the superstition.
Exactly.
It's funny you mention it's just coming back to me now. It's funny you mention the umbrella thing, and it's funny all the things which were drilled into me as a kid, don't open an umbrella indoors. Earlier today, yesterday I was having a clean, and we have a little parasol in the house, which I think actually came from your wedding.
Oh yeah,
Nick.
yeah.
And I thought, this is quite nice. I wonder if I could kind of open it and put it somewhere up in the house. And literally just for a second, there was a voice in the back of my head going,
Don't do it, John.
Don't do it.
Don't open the umbrella.
Don't open it. See, there you go. You're not as sensible as you sound.
But I did it just to just thumbing my nose at God. Not today, Jesus.
Just over and graze your knee.
But it's weird, isn't it?
Poke me in the eye as I opened it.
But even I think even as a kid, I was like, well, of course it's bad luck to open an umbrella indoors because it's really big.
Yeah.
And I bet
You'll smash something,
Yeah.
or you get water everywhere.
Yeah, don't walk under a ladder.
You might a paint thing.
That's
or
like
anything might
saying
drop on you.
That's like saying it's unlucky to start a fire.
Yeah, don't start a fire.
That's
I
very
think
unlucky.
You were saying that they came from something.
Yeah.
And I think putting shoes on the table, your shoes have been out
Dirty.
walking in shit.
Yeah.
So
Get some poo on the table.
don't put
That's
the
But it's
poo on
new shoes. That's what I'm always told.
Oh, is
Oh.
that?
New shoes on the table.
That makes it a
Don't put new shoes on the
less
table.
sense.
I don't know where that came from. My
No.
mum always says that. Anyway, there you go. Superstitions go too far, and it annoys me because I'm one of those people.
I am also one of those people.
I
There we
feel
are.
I am. It's not
Well, you had the voice inside you, which means that
You have the fear.
whether you threw caution to the wind or not, it's programmed into you. It's in there. It's inside you.
I've got hate.
Oh, go on then.
Inside you.
I hate Well,
Very haunting.
I hate the Joker.
Okay.
What, the card?
No, the popular Batman villain.
Oh, Batman.
Batman.
With
John
the,
Batman.
With the caveat of,
Which version?
oh, here's the thing. With the caveat of, the Joker is brilliant, but he's also become the patron saint of assholes. And that's what I hate.
Good, I like that.
I hate the obsession around the Joker.
There's so many different iterations of the Joker now.
Yeah.
That's what I always like running parallel to
Yeah.
one another.
I can
That's the
completely
biggest problem I have.
understand that hate, actually. I never really thought about it before, but I've never been, like, a massive Joker fan, but some people are fucking obsessed with him.
I
It's
worry
like-
about those people.
I know, exactly, because, like, there's not much to be, like, in awe of there.
No.
It's like when you see at Comic Cons a lot of girls dressed up as Harley Quinn.
Yes.
It's like, she is a victim of abuse and a psychopath.
Yeah.
And just because Margot Robbie made her look cool with a baseball bat in one film doesn't mean that she's a good role model to dress up as.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it was a joke a while ago that, like, you know, you could go to like, it's Halloween. Let's get a cheap, off-brand,
Sexy cat.
non-licensed. Yeah. So like, your Batman costume is like rodent vigilante or something like that. You know.
Yeah. Your clown villain.
Yeah, Mediterranean plumber. You know, that kind of thing. But it's like. But it's like it was like clown boy and jester girl.
Oh,
were like
geez.
Great
you know,
stuff.
because like I kind of like. There's a lot to love about Joker. I think the Joker is kind of brilliant.
Archetypal.
Maybe he's just been overdone.
Well, that probably is
Yeah.
the problem, because even before, let's say, Ledger,
Yeah.
he was iconic in movies.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
The Joker.
Yeah, I think a
I didn't really, comic book films didn't really register with me
No.
prior to probably The Dark Knight even.
But it's weird, isn't
Or
it?
Spider-Man, certainly.
But
But the Joker did.
yeah, but it's weird. It's like
Everyone knows him.
nobody ever really respected comic books. Like they're never really serious.
No.
But it's something about Batman and the Joker where they're kind of like they've become like these great parts.
Yeah.
Like playing Shakespeare or playing Bond.
Yeah,
Like it's not
legendary roles.
It's not high art, but people are like, oh, who's your Joker?
He brought a great Joker to the table.
I saw him do the Joker on the West End. It was amazing. Yeah.
He brought a tear to my eye.
So, and it's kind of amazing. Like I think we can all agree, like Heath Ledger was incredible.
Sure.
And despite the fact that there's no thematic pairing between a man who dresses as a bat and a man who dresses
That's true.
kind of like a clown, except he's not a clown.
Not really a clown at all.
No.
In the classic
He's
way
more
he's
like a-
depicted.
Isn't the Joaquin
Jester
Phoenix one
looks
supposed to
a bit
be a
like a-
failed clown?
He looks
though?
a bit like a clown, though, doesn't he?
I was going to say, though, the pun, the clown prince of crime.
It's very, it's
Excellent.
that's very good. Yeah.
yeah.
But I really like it. Like the Joker has become like this kind of like an avatar of chaos.
Yeah.
I actually love him as a villain. As much as I hate him, I think he's kind of brilliant. I guess what really kind of bugs me is this A, the rehabilitation of the Joker, and B, like the worship of the Joker.
Yeah, the sort of idolic kind
Yeah.
of appropriation of him as my spirit animal. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, like, because
But there's a TV show at the moment called Gotham,
yes.
Yeah.
which there's a version of the Joker in that, and he's like twins. And then his twin brother died. I read up on it because I don't know why. I was interested, I suppose. I read it, that his brother died, and he was the crazy one. And then
The brother was.
the brother who died was the crazy one, and then his
Right.
twin got sprayed with gas or something that his dead brother sent to him in the mail,
Right.
and became crazy as a result.
Right.
And that's the Joker.
Right. Okay.
Thing is, there's a lot of Batman villains do like gas. Like
Yeah.
Scarecrow likes his gas.
He likes his gas.
Joker gas. Joker.
But would a
Venom.
bit of, like gas going psh, be enough to send you crazy for your whole entire life?
Well, I
Depends
mean,
what the gas does. I mean, if it was one of my farts, then
it's
that was a fart joke.
That's
See?
great.
Good
yeah.
fart joke.
Ding.
We've got one humour point for
That's
this
good, no.
podcast. so far.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's about time we got one.
I guess my point is like the Joker is either like, say like we go back to like the '90s cartoon Batman, brilliant, everybody loved it.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, so the Joker is either like this insane, comical, brilliant,
Genius.
criminal.
Yeah.
Where like he does terrible things but with like a sense of humour.
Yeah.
And because that was kind of like a cartoon world, like he never like skinned a man alive or anything like that.
Sure.
Like he,
No.
like it was always implied the violence. So you either have that, or you have this Joker who's like a complete terrifying like force of nature, like a kind of psychopath.
She's kind of the Heath Ledger one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I kind of I like them both. I do really like it, but
They're different characters.
but now you've got this thing where like I think particularly with young lags, I mean like guys kind of like in their teens, they kind of worship him. Like you joked about him being like the spirit animal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like we go to conventions, there's a ton of where it's like suddenly the edgiest thing they can imagine is to be the Joker.
Yeah.
So they start kind of like,
And there's a persona they carry out as they're walking down the aisles of the show. Like, by
Because
going
they're just
to
trying to look freaky.
They have a sort of
Yeah.
swagger to them. Like they've suddenly got all this confidence because they're embodying his spirit, kind
Yeah.
of. But like we do get to see an interesting cross section of the nerd world by going to Comic Cons as regularly as we do. And I think you go to one show, you don't get that. But if you go to a lot of shows, you start to see the trends.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of people, and they're all really into the same stuff that we are. But we see a lot of this that you're talking about, these people embodying some of the worst fictional characters.
yeah, because the Joker is not meant to be admirable.
Not at all.
Like he's like
I've never seen any. It's interesting that I've never seen any parent groups complain about the Joker.
no, that is interesting, isn't it? Like,
When they complain about the Grand Theft Auto, let's
I
say,
bet if you
things
dug
like that.
a little bit
Yeah,
deeper,
probably,
Yeah.
but not on a huge scale.
No,
perhaps.
true. No.
But I think it's like because we always say like it was a terrible shame that Heath Ledger died, because of course it was. But,
was, of course,
and we feel like we were robbed not only of like a very talented actor, but like a character which people loved.
Yeah.
And it's like he's compelling, and he's it's like this kind of horrible, but he's horrible. Like you're not meant to like him. We do kind of like him because sometimes we like a good villain, but he's certainly not meant to want to be him.
I don't think you're meant to like him specifically. I think you're meant to like the effect he has on your stories.
Yeah.
Like the presence he has creates a chaotic environment in which you can see Batman succeed. I think that's really exciting. And without him, the challenge that he represents wouldn't exist, and Batman wouldn't have us so much to surmount.
Yeah.
But like we don't like him.
But then there's a Joker movie coming out where presumably he's going to be an anti-hero of sorts.
Or we're going to at least sympathise on some level with him.
Yeah.
Or be expected to.
And I know people could say like, oh, that just makes it a more complex villainy. Like if you end up really liking this character, even though he's a monster. But I just like he's meant to be the villain.
Yeah.
Like I don't really think the takeaway moment was, oh yes, I want to be more like the Joker. He's the cool one.
He's got a point.
And then the whole Harley Quinn thing is problematic as well because DC have realised that like a ton of people, they love Harley Quinn, they love the Joker, but they're really problematic because they're both.
They can't be seen to be endorsing that,
No.
which is right, obviously.
You
Yeah,
can't have something like that as your brand figurehead. You know, like,
So they're doing a lot to like rehabilitate these characters. So now like
which is a hilarious choice of word, but
so-
it's really apt.
so now like oh they're not like these horrible psychopaths who are, and one is terribly abused. Now they're like Bonnie and Clyde, like they love each other.
lovable, like crims kind of.
But even Bonnie and Clyde killed like a ton of people.
Yeah,
like
let's not forget.
Can we like? It's good to have a villain, and it's good to have a villain who's a horrible person. But can we just not like can we not be that person? We have to remember that they are the villain. They're not supposed to be.
It's good to have like you can have cartoony villains as well, like villains who don't really pose any sort of threat, but they're just a foil kind of thing. Those are fun. You know, I'm trying to think of an example now, but like a Looney Tunes sort of Tom and Jerry kind of scenario.
Yeah.
You know, you could argue Tom's the villain of Tom and Jerry, but he's not. He could be a mascot, couldn't he? He could be the front man for a brand quite easily because he's not a murderer.
No.
He doesn't, like you say, skin people alive. And we have to remember that, like, classic Joker was also in the story The Killing Joke, where he did some pretty disgusting stuff. Like, really, really awful. And a lot of people rave about that book. And I can't really read it anymore because of how vile he is. And I know it's like, oh, I'm painting a really great character. I don't have to read about these disgusting things. So I don't think I will, actually.
Yeah. And I think also, like, the more people kind of like... Because it's like, if the Joker's meant to be, like, this grand glimpse into insanity...
Yes.
Like, he's like this primal force of insanity. I feel like the closer we look, the less remarkable it becomes.
Yeah.
Like, we spend so much time going like, oh, what's inside his head? How does he think? Yeah. Like, they did The Killing Joke being this kind of, like, very famous book, problematic but very famous book. And they did, like...
Wasn't there a movie that came out recently?
Yeah, a few years ago they announced like, oh, we're going to make an animated movie, and everyone was like, oh, losing their shit. Like, yes!
I think this is the joke. It was the joke, the fanboys who were losing their shit about it, and everyone else was going, you're making a film of The Killing Joke. that you know what scenes are in that movie. I'm not even going to say it right now on the podcast. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to know what's in Killing Joke, just go look it up on Wikipedia or whatever. But like, yeah, I don't think there should have been a movie of that.
No.
But anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the thing. I do like him, I own Batman books, and the Joker is in it, and it's like, oh great, like the Joker's here. That's cool.
Hooray!
I think it just annoys me, like the amount of people who seem to want to be him.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, that's not admirable. Like,
The adulation.
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't want to be the Joker. No one wants to be the Joker.
Actually, like, come to think of it, what's the deal with Loki? Because,
They're trying to redeem him, haven't they? Since they figured out people love him.
but
Marvel.
That's a similar thing, though. Like, Loki has done some awful, awful things.
like even if you just took like Avengers, the very first movie,
Yeah.
How many people died in
he
it?
killed a lot of people.
Oh, he did.
Like,
They mention it though, didn't they? He goes, "Oh, he is my brother, and he is of Asgard. He killed 70 people in 2 days. He's adopted."
but again, it's like everyone's like, oh, he's very sexy.
But
He
that's
is.
Tom Hiddleston, rather than Loki, isn't it?
Is it, though? Like,
No,
I'm
see,
not
Tom
sure.
Hiddleston is an actor.
Yes.
Who played the character.
I understand that. I
know.
assure
I
you.
know. I feel
But
like
there will be people out there who do not.
I
I think
think
we need
that's
slides to kind of like break this down.
I think there are. I think that sort of description of the separation of the two is important for some because I think they they adore Loki looking the way he does. As
But
he
if you
looks
look
a bit
at him
like Tom
since Avengers, you had him in the Dark World where he, ends up doing more tomfoolery, but he does die, and he sort of dies a hero's death in a way,
Sort
but
of.
then obviously comes back. Ragnarok is just a silly movie in a good way,
Yeah.
and he's sort of him and Thor play off each other in that rather than him being an all-out villain. And then obviously he died in the Infinity War.
Oh,
the
wow.
Infinity War.
Spoilers.
The spoilers.
Oh no,
But have we seen the last of Loki?
Doubt it.
probably not.
Well, they've got a TV show coming out.
Called Loki.
That's,
Called Loki.
that's a hell of a spoiler.
Loki, stupid adventures.
Well, it might be through time or something, mightn't it? I don't know.
Tom Hiddleston's sexy adventures.
Tom
as
Hiddleston. Loki with sexy results.
Loki. Loki, topless.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that fantastic?
Look at that body, chisel.
But yes, no, I see where you're coming from.
I totally
I see
agree.
where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you feel that
We
way.
agree.
Oh, you
Tom,
know.
my hate.
Yeah,
Or do
go
you have
on.
more to add?
No, I feel I've...
My hate is very basic and straightforward.
Oh no.
I hate cat litter.
Oh, that's yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Did you know
Okay.
that Nick has a cat?
Have you got a love, John?
I've got. Moving on. I've got. I think the last 3 episodes I've had a cat related.
Yeah, I
hate,
think it's been a
and
lot of... It's the cat trilogy.
Yeah. She brings a lot of love into my life, but she
Sure.
brings a lot of other stuff as well, like large
Things you
stupid
hate.
turds.
Associated with.
Yeah. I just feel like we have yet to perfect the art of like cat litter. Like I don't think we even scratched the surface of solving this problem of where's a cat shit when it lives in a house.
Sure.
only.
Oh,
I
it's a
mean,
big problem.
So what's the problem here? Like, you have not enough cat litter or too much cat litter? Or...
there are different kinds.
Oh no.
Right,
Okay,
and they all
okay.
function in different, unique, powerfully bespoke ways.
So presumably a cat is supposed to associate the smell with shitting, and its shit's there.
No, I don't think it is that.
I don't think- I don't
I think the
agree.
way it works is that they kind of are looking for an area of loose ground.
Right.
And so you provide a patch of loose ground in your
Oh,
house,
yeah.
and then the cat thinks, I can shit here.
Gotcha.
And I can shit here because then I can bury it in the
Gotcha.
loose ground.
I had wondered about this. Like
I think that's it.
In the wild, the cat would never encounter cat
A
litter.
patch of cat litter.
So is it just constantly going around the house scratching, like trying to find things?
Well, this is the
which-
thing, as we've noticed, like if for whatever reason Dumpling is confused or stressed out or can't find the cat litter or is caught short and is about to poo but can't get there soon enough, she will scratch the floor in an almost like fact-finding way, like, can I shit here?
Yeah.
But then she'll be like, oh crap, it's coming anyway, and out it comes, and then she scrapes the carpet in an attempt to bury it. Then she turns around, sniffs, oh, it's still there, shit. Okay, scrape it again. Sometimes she'll scrape the wall.
Is she?
I mean, like,
She'll give you the little like, hey, don't worry.
hey, I've got this.
I've got this.
I've got
I'm
to
burying
sort
it.
this out.
I'm burying it. Don't
Gonna sort
worry.
this out. And then usually she'll try that a few times. Because I'm watching from the doorway thinking, oh shit. And then she'll like turn around, smell it again, realise she has not covered it at all, and then she will peg it, like bomb it, like around the house. Because I looked up this. Why does my cat sprint away from her own shit?
Brilliant.
Googled that exact
Great.
phrase.
Great. Delete your history after that one.
Oh, the image search. Jesus. That question, the exact question word for word, had been asked
Yeah.
and answered, and it's because they're afraid that they'll be tracked. because they know they haven't covered their poo up well enough, so they think that something's going to find where they are. So they have to get away. Get away fast.
Oh.
But we've got this. So we started with cat litter. We started with this like eco one because I was like, I don't want to destroy the planet, So it's sort of like wood chips kind of thing, right? And that wasn't especially good because she'd do one piss in it and the entire thing was like, and like
turn into a cube.
Yeah, this like tofu like sponge of cat piss.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm going through this so fast. That's a half a bag done in one go. Like shit. Okay, so that's not it. Then I saw this one that was corn. Right, it was corn. It looked
Sounds
like
delicious.
It looked like if you got a yellow car sponge and you shredded it into tiny little pieces. That's what it looked like. But it was kind of like tiny popcorns, but they were bright yellow. And the gimmick of this one was that you can flush it down the loo because it isn't like it's organic. Kind of
Okay.
So I was like, that's all well and good, but the cat litter tray's downstairs. So when I scooped a shit out with obviously a scoop also full of this corn, I then had to walk all the way through the house, up the stairs, pour it down the loo, at which point I'd spilt it everywhere along the way.
Oh, this is my
That's a great look. That's a great look, isn't
There was
it?
shit everywhere. I was like, okay, this isn't really working out either. I can't move the cat litter into the toilet because that's where I shit, and I'm not going to shit like parallel to a cat.
Making eye contact like throughout.
So then we moved on to clay.
Oh god.
And now we're in
Okay.
clay territory, right?
What,
But I
wet
didn't
clay?
even know
Dry
this
clay?
existed. No, it's like gravel. It's like beads of clay. Tiny, like ball bearing size beads of clay. Like heavy as fuck. Like a bag of it weighs about 5 kilos, right? No, more than that, like 10 kilos. What's really weird about this, the big selling point of this is meant to be, it's absorbent, right? And it turns solid, and then you can just literally pull out that nugget and the rest is fine.
Gotcha.
Right? Unlike the wood stuff, which just all turn to pieces. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the reality of this is we have quite a shallow cat litter tray. So the cat squats over the clay, does a piss, and the piss goes down quite a sort of small surface area, right? But then it reaches the bottom of the tray and it spreads out like a puddle. So then I'll be like scraping away, like checking after she's done a piss. There'll be a tiny like dark patch on the top of the clay. So all the clay's kind of like light grey, and then there's this dark, tiny little circle, centimetre across. But below that is like a fossilised piss UFO that I have to excavate because it's spread out and become this like discus of solid cat piss clay that I got to like
A disc
pull
of
out.
piss.
It's like I'm finding
A piscus.
a
Piscus.
It's a piscus.
God, that's good.
Ah, that's excellent. So my life now is I'm like a fossil hunter, but I'm like seeking out piscuses that are buried deep in the clay.
Okay.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Yeah. And so now I have this like bin, this special bin for my piscuses
Sure.
that I like. Then they break up as I excavate them. Obviously, I'm not a great archaeologist.
And you know,
so-
the end of the month when you've got to empty that bin, that's a treat.
You could
weighs-
sell that as art.
It
couldn't
weighs
you?
a ton as well because it's just rocks now. It's just piss, which is water, liquid, which is heavy,
Sure.
and clay, which is heavy, and they combine together to form discs of stone. This is how I get rid of my cat's waste is discs of stone.
I have to ask, would it not be simpler just to have a tray of dirt?
Maybe
in the house?
actually,
Yeah.
John.
From the
I'll
garden.
get the dirt out of the garden. That's actually a really good idea.
Well, you say that.
I thought there was only one kind of cat litter.
Yeah,
I'll
I
be
know.
honest.
This is.
This is
there
news
are
to me.
There's crystals, which we haven't even entered into the territory of because it's so fucking expensive.
Sounds expensive.
They look like diamonds, and I don't even know how they work.
What?
Yeah, they're translucent, John and Chris.
Is that just like a vajazzle or something for you?
I think it might actually be to bring a bit of glamour into the cat.
I
litter,
can't
so-
think of anything more decadent than shitting on a mat of diamonds. Frankly,
Well, yeah.
Sipping Chardonnay.
yeah,
Maybe I should get some for me.
that'd be. I can't think of anything I'd rather do.
There's a bag about the size of an A4 piece of paper and about as high as it's about the size of a ream that you'd get for your printer.
Okay.
You know, and that costs about £8 of diamonds. That's a bag of.
I thought you were going to say more than that.
That doesn't fill a cat litter tray.
Oh, then that is more than.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is again versus just a tray of dirt. What is the cat litter bringing to it? Now you mentioned that there's an absorbency kind of thing.
I think the absorbency is meant to make it easier.
Is it meant to be perfumed? Is it meant to be kind of like...
Some of them are like smell cancelling.
Oh.
Okay.
The wood chip one was ostensibly that. So when the piss was absorbed and turned into the tofu cube of piss, it didn't smell. I'll give them that. It didn't smell of piss. I didn't want a jelly cube of wood piss to deal with. I didn't want to do that, but it didn't smell. John.
Okay. I just like.
Clay still smells though. The piss discs smell like piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Piss
not
and
good.
clay.
So how often?
That seems like the worst of all of it. Clay, then.
I think
Overall.
I've ended up in a bad place.
Okay, so how often do you have to like empty?
Well, the advantage of the clay is that once I get the disc out, then the rest of it is literally exactly the same. Like it's completely untouched because like it stops at the edges of the disc. So once the disc is gone, it's just all fresh again, and that can last as long as 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's quite good.
Yeah, so that's quite good.
So with your cat, are we talking like a heavy flow, kind of like scattershot
vary
kind
in
of
size.
affair? Like, I mean, how much poo is actually produced?
Poo is probably 2 a day.
Okay, 2 a day.
Yeah.
Does it need cleaning out every day then?
You have to clean the poo straight away
Gotcha.
if you can, because she won't poo in a cat litter, and this is common for a lot of cats. There's already got poo in it.
I feel there's a fundamental problem there.
Yeah.
Like,
We have 3 cat litter trays.
interesting,
Yeah,
right?
all right, yeah.
In an attempt to build in some
The plot
justice.
thickens.
And the smell?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
I bet that is a powerful smell.
We're talking like a fish-based diet.
Not entirely. Like
No.
we have a mix of pouches that she eats, like astronaut pouches.
Febreze.
Stillman and broccoli.
Clay. Why did I give her the silver?
Oh, no.
Alice, why?
Okay. Yeah, because the litter is wow. Yeah. So the litter is kind of like it's a moisture. It deals with moisture.
That's the thing it does best.
Yeah.
It's mostly for piss, really, because the poo just sits on top of it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. The little Todd.
They do their best to bury it, but they do a really awful job.
Yeah.
So it's just got a few bits of cat litter stuck on it. Generally, that's it.
Would it not?
I didn't know there were so many complexities to this process.
Neither did I, Chris.
No idea.
Neither did I.
It'd almost be easier just to have like a kind of grate in the floor.
Actually, I think there is a cat litter tray that's designed to have a grate. But I don't quite know how that works either.
No.
It's expensive. I might try your soil idea. I quite like that.
I
Well,
think
you
that's a good
got to
idea.
wonder after a while, haven't you?
Yeah, it's like I'm paying money. I mean, to be fair, the clay doesn't cost that much. Like a bag that weighs about 10 kilos and is about the size.
God, how much is she shitting?
It's huge. Well, this is the thing. It lasts forever. Like it lasts for
day.
ages. And it costs like £2 for this massive bag 'cause it's just rocks. I'm just buying. I'm an idiot. I'm buying rocks that I could
They
excavate
saw
out
you.
my
They
own-
saw you coming, didn't they?
my own
They
ground.
saw you coming.
Yeah. It's mad.
I would think try the garden thing and come back to us on the next episode.
I'll report back.
We'll see how that's gone.
Yeah.
You kind of
Nice follow-up moment. We never do follow-ups.
We never do.
I guess
Unlike the cat.
I guess surely like I guess the worry is the whole point in having a litter tray is that it negates you having to constantly search your house and clean and tidy.
For a shit in a corner of my room somewhere.
But
Yeah.
if you're giving the cat the autonomy of having a litter tray,
The shit zone.
if you then have to go and immediately clean up when she has a crap,
But it's only craps. Like she pisses like maybe 4-ish times a day.
near constantly.
Yeah, just an unstoppable stream. She will use the same litter tray multiple times that she's pissed in.
That's good.
But the craps, I've got to be on that. I've got to be all over it. I mean, like literally all over it. That'd be disgusting. That'd be vile.
God, it really just elevated the
So
conversation.
involved,
haven't we? Yeah, no, this is great.
Let's get on to the love.
Who's got love? Go on, let's
I'll hit you with a love.
hit me with a love.
Red Letter Media.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm sort of stealing your thing here because I know you're a patron of Red Letter Media.
I am actually.
But thank God for Red Letter Media. In an era when so much YouTube is hot garbage,
Oh god, 90% maybe.
no, how dare
Maybe
you.
more.
YouTube streams now just look like magazine racks, like Heat. Various issues of Heat.
That's a good idea. That's a good analog. I like that.
Red Letter Media's content is fantastic in a time when that is the case.
I think we kind of like. I think in like our first 10 episodes, we were like, if we could just fill an entire season talking about how bad YouTube is.
Oh, we could.
Oh, you easily could.
But you
yeah.
could have the YouTube Chronicles at some point.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, maybe we
Trailer
delve-
breakdown videos.
Maybe we delve deep and research and come back with the worst YouTube experience.
oh god, I mean, I've said it before, but like the thumbnails alone.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right,
They
yeah.
are like magazine racks filled with back issues
It's like
of Heat.
browsing a shitty magazine rack. You're absolutely right. But no, Red Letter Media are excellent.
Just, oh god, there's so many things I could choose from, but the osteoporosis dance, when they're reviewing that video.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I've got to say, I thought I was going to die when I watched that.
I haven't seen that
They
one.
review what was best of the worst, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like.
So if you're not familiar, best of the worst.
Yeah, fill us in.
They pick out 3 videos at random from collection / what has been sent in. They're shitty videos.
They're
of
VHSs,
old,
aren't they?
VHSs of old films or instructional videos or anything. Anything goes, really. And they spin a wheel, maybe with 8 or 10 on it. They pick out 3 that the wheel lands on. They watch them, they review them. So that's best of the worst, the concept. And then the osteoporosis dance was one of them for...
it was like a
it was for people with
osteoporosis,
osteoporosis, wasn't it? Like things they could do
help them?
to help them. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is things you can do at home
Oh my God.
to alleviate your symptoms and help you live a much more full life.
But the instructions were so like the official instructions were like, if you have difficulty doing some of the moves, be sure to hold on to your kitchen counter. And it's like, what?
Okay.
It makes a lot of assumptions that A, like I have a kitchen counter, and B, I'm in the kitchen.
I'm doing it in the kitchen. I probably wouldn't have done it in the kitchen.
My kitchen is tiny.
Yeah.
But it's when they're actually doing the dance, and the woman keeps getting towards this pot plant, which is in the studio for no apparent reason. She's just edging closer and closer to it as she's dancing, and then she just about nudges it.
It's a hard cut.
And then it's just a smash cut to the pot slightly further away.
Amazing.
I think I remember like the first Red Letter Media video I ever saw was their review of Man of Steel. Because I guess if anyone's listening, they do film reviews. And
They do,
kind of,
among other things,
nonsense.
yes.
And they weren't on YouTube originally. Like they just hosted their videos on their own website.
Yeah.
But again, like YouTube very quickly took over the world, and everybody kind of had to move on over there. But it was such a bizarre concept. Like it was a film review show, which was also like some bizarre sitcom.
Yeah, they do it almost like a story, don't they? But then they
Yeah.
cut away
Still-
to review
yeah.
parts of it.
It's still going. It's Mr. Plinkett. Part of the story is Mr. Plinkett and so on.
Yeah, well,
You have to watch them, sort of.
yeah, where they've been endlessly repairing Mr. Plinkett's VHS
Yeah.
tape for about 5-6 years now.
But you see a lot of people wearing those T-shirts now, the lightning fast video repair T-shirts. You
that's-
see them
that's
around.
become like geek culture in itself.
So, and the unboxing video, the most I've ever laughed at a Red Letter Media video was the second episode, if you get a chance, of, what's it called, the Nerd Crew.
Yeah, give us a bit of context.
Which
here,
is
what
just,
it?
it's basically a send-up of Collider and places like that actually sit around a desk and discuss film trailers for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And go into all sorts of depth with it, and it just comes across as self-indulgent, frankly.
That's true.
So
yeah.
it's just
masturbatory.
Yeah, it's a piss take of that, basically, where they pretend they're obsessing about these
Like
trailers.
a nerd panel.
Yeah, and then did a unboxing of 2 rival companies, which they'd made up, obviously. And just the stuff that was in those boxes was so funny. And the way they reacted to it, and they nearly destroyed the set at the end.
Wasn't there like
I don't want to give too much away. I feel like I could explain the whole thing.
Wasn't it
but
like
I won't.
they were doing like the unboxing and it was like, oh, it's an action figure, and then there was like a pack of sausages.
Yeah, it was in an Avengers plastic container. So it was an Avengers loot crate or geek crate or whatever they were calling it, and it was an Avengers tub with just Vienna sausages in it. That had gone off, and he just starts gagging the guy, Rich Evans. I just feel if I met one of them ever, I'd be more starstruck meeting them than a number of actual celebrities.
Because you respect them.
Because I enjoy what they do.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Like the little celebrities that you'd probably end up kind of being quite blown away by.
Definitely, yeah.
Rich Evans probably gets freaked out by all the people that ask him for a photograph or an autograph.
They're probably wise enough to not actually go
anywhere,
Get
conventions,
out
do
there in
anything,
the world,
never
yeah.
leave the house.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's almost such a pure and
Well, that's
genuine
just my love,
There's
because
not,
there's
there's not anywhere we can go with it.
There's
really.
so much shit out there, and it's just a bit of a diamond in the shit, frankly. To coin a dumpling phrase,
related.
yes.
I've got to say, I think at the moment one of my favourite series they do is called Review, which is where they just talk. It's a very different format, but they talk about a movie that they don't necessarily love, but sometimes it's like maybe one of them loves or both loved, but it's more just like they're looking back at great movies. And it's nice because it's
what are generally considered to be great
yeah.
movies, yeah.
So it's less of like a critique. It's more just like either they both love a movie, or one of them really loves a movie and is trying to convince the other why it's kind of great. So it's kind of like there's some positivity to it. But they're really good actually, and it's just for me just become like kind of background noise.
Yeah.
Like I find I find their presence very relaxing. I like putting it on and listening to them talk about crap.
Funny guys.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
That'll do.
I have a love.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Destroying shit.
Yes.
We speaking as a homeowner.
Sure.
Speaking,
God.
I think John owns a home.
Yeah.
Speaking as a man of a mortgage, we have this weird ass kind of concrete bunker in our back garden, which is ostensibly a garage,
but not really.
In name only.
It's a structure.
Well, is it?
It's sort of.
But every surface of the garage is covered in about 2 foot deep of ivy. It's completely absorbed by this horrible.
It might just be ivy.
It's load bearing ivy.
Yeah.
And to the point where it seems even bigger than it is, just because there's so much greenery across it. And we were like, well, if we're ever going to do anything with this bunker, we're going to have to we're going to have to clear all this ivy off it. So we bought an axe.
Yeah, you got to buy an axe.
Which I feel is like a major kind of turning point.
That's a step in everyone's life.
Yeah, you know.
The day you bought an axe. Everyone remembers the day they bought an axe.
You got to put that as an anniversary for next year, and we'll have a big party.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
And the axe can be the guest of honor.
Axe-versary.
It's interesting.
Axe-versary.
Because I think the last time I used an axe, I was in Canada.
Yeah.
And my good friend Chris Ray
Hello.
was
Oh,
also
he's
there.
here.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came to visit us in Canada.
We had an
And
axe competition.
a drunken axe competition.
Oh, jeez.
And it was like who could chop through wood the quickest.
Okay.
And I do remember that we were at a campsite. I was drunk. I was swinging an axe, and I was so determined to win that I didn't cut anything off.
Oh.
But I did get a massive blister, like to the point where instantly, it's not even like I woke up and I had a blister. It's literally like I was hammering so much that I just rubbed like a patch on my thumb completely raw.
That is hilariously ironic though. That was
the
sharp
injury.
bit didn't hurt you.
Yeah.
The soft bit.
It was very painful actually. Like
I'm sure.
It was a
patch
very
on my-
competitive competition, as
Yes.
it turned out.
I felt I had a lot to prove.
We took it quite seriously in the end.
Did you win?
I think I did actually.
There's a photo of me against Dev, your Canadian friend,
Our Canadian
and
friend,
I'm
yeah.
celebrating. I don't know how that happened.
Waving the axe around as well.
Waving the axe around,
Wow.
chucking it up in the air.
Hey,
Way!
axes.
Wait, my point is, I bought an axe. I bought a saw. And I own quite a few saws now because I'm a homeowner.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
But this was a longer saw for trees and
Long
shit.
saw.
Yeah.
Got big old secateurs,
Yeah.
really
No
powerful
way.
secateurs.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those.
Very
And
important.
we just went to town on this thing, and I think we kind of Lucy
Hack
and I.
and slash.
Yeah, we kind of I don't think we really anticipated how big a job it was actually going to be. It's taken-
Nobody does.
It's taken us.
Hubris.
We're still not done, but we found the deeper. It was like entering Narnia. Like the deeper I went into this ivy, we found there were 4 conifer trees, like just kind of in the mix.
Did you cut them down?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Fuck me.
which were kind of came up to my chin.
Right.
And I think clearly the previous owners, they tried to hide their shame. Like they wanted to completely cover this this garage thing. But yeah, it's actually okay, it's a tree, but if I get the trunk, it's coming down.
It's going.
So we've just been working our way along, and as we've ripped the ivy off, bits of the roof have come off with it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
You know it's been there a long time if that happens.
We found an entire water butt, and we're
hidden within the
the ivy, and we're not
That's
we're not
impressive.
talking a kind of we're not talking small either. It must be a few hundred liters
Talking
in there.
industrial.
And this thing, who knows how long this thing had been there? It was full of slugs,
Oh,
and
that
massive
is gross.
green slugs.
Oh, it's a bit Silent Hill.
And it was this thing where I was like, well, I can't move it, and I've got an axe, so here we go. So I just kind of smashed. I think at this point I was just kind of drunk with
I was
power.
going to say, I
really.
think you were
Yeah.
seeing red or green. maybe,
Yeah.
for the
Doing
ivy,
everything with the axe.
So just kind of smashed the little tap off with the axe,
Sparta!
and it was very liberating.
I
And
bet.
this massive jet of water shot out, and hit the
Half
other
water,
side.
half slugs.
Mostly slugs,
Right,
yeah, to be
oh.
honest. But yeah, that was just quite liberating. And now we've got this weird kind of as we dig deeper into the ivy, we found this weird kind of lean-to shack kind of built onto the back of the garage. And I've gone in, and it's like something, it's either like a serial killer's house,
It's that.
or, yeah, it's probably a serial killer's house, or it's like something you'd make Robinson Crusoe style on a desert island.
Oh, yeah.
We were told it was an aviary,
Right.
air quotes. Going in, it's not an aviary. You couldn't keep a bird.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not
You could,
airtight.
it would die.
Yeah, no, we went in and it's it doesn't have a rear wall. The rear wall is a door which somebody has taken from somewhere else or something.
Oh.
And there's a couple of planks randomly across it.
I feel like that was probably abandoned quite some time ago.
I feel so. Like it may be like a workshop at some point. There's a hoe in there and an old scythe.
Oh yeah.
Scythe.
I feel like if I sneeze too hard, it might just come down.
It's a bit Final Destination.
That is, yeah.
Tiny
You want to
bit,
be careful with that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have a look. I think the destruction may just continue.
Yeah, just smash it. all
Get an
together.
axe up there.
Yeah, just
Smash it down.
I kind of feel. I'm looking at it. I kind of feel I need a sledgehammer, but I feel like.
I've got a sledgehammer.
Do you have a sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
There you go. Problem solved.
I was going to say buying a sledgehammer is a step. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm quite ready to do that.
Sledgehammer is for life.
You've broken the seal with an axe. I think the sledgehammer's like.
Yeah.
You're halfway down that slope now.
I'm slightly disappointed that you only cut off the tap with the axe rather than just smashing the shit out of the thing.
Ooh.
Well, to be fair,
Cutting the tap off gets you that squirt though.
It
it's
does.
a high pressure kind of stream. Yeah.
Like smashing.
We did that with a
fire
keg
hydrant.
once. Do you remember?
I do.
In
Yes.
someone's house.
In someone's house.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
We opened a tap of a keg and it just shot out straight line onto someone's wall where we were at their house.
Yeah, we were smart people. We were
You
like,
were the worst.
we can do this. We can work this out.
We were left home alone for 5 minutes in someone else's house
And that was.
and managed to get beer all over the wall.
Well, anyway, the long and short of it is the destruction continues.
Excellent.
Our,
Keep us updated.
our garden
Good.
looks like an absolute sky at the moment. You can't even see you can't see the grass because we just have a pile of dead vegetation, probably as tall as me.
Vegetation.
And yeah, I'm loving it.
Wonderful.
I think the important message is when your house looks like trash, you can't make it worse. So
Hey now.
it's
It's
a
a
good.
good
now.
message, that is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, so
Your house looks like half trash.
no, the house looks alright. The garden looks
The
like shit.
outside. I've not seen the outside in this current state. I'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah, you will.
I'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
you
coming
will.
back tomorrow, by the way.
I can't get rid of you.
No.
I'm coming too.
Yeah.
Come
as well.
on.
What's your love? What's your
I
love?
love Kinder Surprise toys.
Oh, hello.
I have a couple
You
here.
got props.
Yeah,
You got
I have
props.
a couple here.
Where have you been hiding these?
Got them today because my parents
you.
brought them to me. I want you to describe them. I'm
So-
not going to give you any context or explanation. John, tell us what you got.
I have. He's. Oh my god.
Do try fiddling with it. Things may happen. You know, you might be able to
Oh,
interact.
it does do something.
Oh, is he meant to do? Oh.
Oh, no.
This is great audio.
Oh no.
John's broken it.
That's really not what I was
I was
expecting.
expecting this to do something
meant to
when...
happen.
Okay,
The
so
base of yours should come off, Chris.
I have.
Oh.
Green bit.
Okay.
Hang on, let me try and reattach his hat. I have.
Oh!
This is wonderful. I have a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a bit like a wizard. He's maybe.
I think he's a wizard.
An inch and a half tall.
Yep.
He is wearing a red robe. He has a blue cloak.
Yeah.
He's got a cheerful white beard.
Great big bushy beard.
Great big bushy beard, and he's got a yellow hat.
Kind of a pointy witch hat, isn't it?
What's kind of odd is that half the hat is kind of like blue.
I can explain that to you in a second. If
Right,
you just
okay.
tell us what's beyond the hat when you lift it off.
Well, this kind of took me by surprise. But if you take the hat off, the poor gentleman has a what looks like a brush extending from the top, the crown of his head, and one would imagine you could dip that in something and paint.
Well, according to the instructions that came with that particular toy, his hat is what you're meant to dip the brush into. So
What?
you take the hat off, you put a bit of water in one side, you dip the brush in the water side, then you dip the brush on the blue bit. That blue bit is actually watercolour paint.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. And then you can paint in blue, I guess.
I cannot stress enough how small this wizard's hat is.
Yeah, and that paint will probably last for maybe 2.5 brush strokes, maybe less.
Maybe less.
Yeah.
And you wow.
Thing is, I don't remember Kinder Surprise toys having a practical use before.
Yeah, it still does.
This is a higher quality of toy.
I think practical's a stretch. I think this is why I love Kinder Surprise toys, because you either get something inert and therefore relatively shit, like a minion,
Yeah.
or you get something that they think has got some quirky novelty like function to it. But it's like, when are you ever going to use that?
Like an educational mag.
Kind of, but you can just paint in blue.
What you appear to have
Yeah, I've drawn
contracted
all
some
over
kind-
myself with my one.
Yeah, so tell us about yours.
So I've got a sort of brown and green thing, and it's got a sticker of a cow's face on it.
yeah, I think it's meant to be.
So it's meant to be a cow.
A cow.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a yak or something.
No
like that.
expense spared. and the tail moves, so you can flick it from left to right and right to left.
Kind of like a lever.
So on and so forth. And you may have heard Nick earlier say to me, you can take the green bit off, Chris.
Yeah.
So I did.
Base.
So I did. And under that, you've got a little stamp, like an ink stamp. So if you're familiar with nightclubs,
Yes.
the bouncer at a nightclub might ink your hand with a stamp.
With a cow stamp.
And it means now you can get back in.
Yeah.
So one of the stamps, and I've drawn all over my hand as a result.
So the lever changes which stamp is deployed.
Sure does.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's actually quite.
There's
is
2
quite
stamps
complex.
available, and the first stamp is the cow's face.
Oh, excellent.
I
I
think.
haven't actually checked what it
Big
is.
fan.
And the second one, I do not know what it is, but it looks like a pair of lungs.
It's probably that.
But I don't know exactly what it is.
I mean, a lung stamp is an important thing. to have.
So you could use that if you were a nightclub bouncer.
Yeah. Again,
for a bit.
there's no ink supply for
No.
it. It comes pre-inked. So you could probably let 5 or 6 people into the club.
Yeah.
And then that would be it for that.
And then
You'd have to switch to the wizard.
and then you'd have to switch to the actual pump.
Isn't
Stamp.
it weird that there's a degree of there's like a thematic similarity between
kind of
these?
marking inky colour.
Because my memory of Kinder Surprise is that if you ever had 2 Kinder Surprise, they would have nothing in common.
Yes.
At all.
100%.
Yeah.
Did this come as part of the same package of Kinder Surprise eggs?
There was actually, it was a multi-pack of 6.
Ah, you see.
Ah.
But the only third one I can remember from the set was my brother's, and it was a small motorbike that he assembled, and it just had 3 wheels, and you could just roll it on the
Nice.
I always got the impression with Kinder Surprise that say Kinder Surprise as a multinational conglomerate has been going for, let's say, charitably 40 years.
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
400 years.
I always got the impression that they never really did away with any of the molds or any of the toys. Like in 1970, they bought 10,000 wizard paintbrushes, like the one I'm holding here.
There's no. I think that's one of the biggest things that strikes me about them is there's no house style.
No.
Like everything
Yeah,
doesn't
just-
look
yeah.
the same. Like that wizard is in a completely different visual style to that yak cow. And it's like that wizard looks kind of almost French in its design. It's got a
He's
weird
a bit like
sort
the
of-
Smurfs
a Smurf,
or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think they outsource?
I think they do.
Must outsource.
Or maybe they just find molds and it's like, oh, we can turn this into something.
I reckon they have before the days of the internet. I reckon they had a team of highly trained buyers who would scour the globe looking for bits of tat which were no more than 1.5 inches high.
You're probably right.
Because if your
Bits of that. How dare you?
if your measure of success is it has to fit inside a Kinder Egg capsule,
Yeah.
then the
What a
sky's
job
the
that would have
limit.
been.
Yeah.
Like, I travel the world. Oh, really? Doing what? I have to seek out toys. Oh, babe, there he is, was of toys.
It's like, what do you get? Well, I got a wizard paintbrush. What do you get? I got 8 kidney beans.
I feel I should say at this point that the ink I've put on my hand is now spreading across my skin.
Oh, God.
I have to say, it is starting to burn.
I have managed to get it into my eyes.
It is now on the wrong hand.
I mean,
no.
I just feel sorry for the listener at home because there's something quite powerfully shit.
We need
about,
to get some photos
We'll
and
put them on Facebook.
put them on the Facebook.
Yeah, I feel the visual design of this. If the 1970s was somehow distilled into a toy,
Yeah.
I feel it would be this wizard. He is
My spirit animal.
he is distressingly bad.
Yes.
Actually, his cape is quite nice. I feel he looks better from behind.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah.
I don't like his face. I don't much care for his stupid face. He's also hollow, which kind of it's almost like it should fit on your finger.
That's the
Oh,
idea.
it
Maybe
does.
it's finger painting.
Oh, maybe
maybe
it is.
it is.
Oh, look at that.
Come on.
It's like
Sorry.
it's like an
Sorry,
onion.
Chris.
Come on.
It's like an onion. Another layer has presented itself. So I should be able to paint, get a little bit of.
You get a
You
little
can
bit of
step on
blue
your
paint
finger.
on there.
Thing is, you're going to get 2 strokes.
Is there any water in this cup still?
But it's Nick's special
I don't
wizard
care.
paintbrush. I don't want to. Okay, well let's go.
Go on,
for
dip
it.
a
Go
bit.
on, dip a bit in,
Okay.
dip a bit in that
So
water.
wait, so
John.
we want a bit of water.
Bit
So
of water.
for the listeners, I'm reaching into my cup and I'm
You've wetted his
You've
brush.
wetted the brush.
dousing the wizard. So
Now just put it in the blue. Just
Bob-
go straight in the blue.
well, what are you meant to do? You meant to put
How
water
many
in.
colours are
Well,
there?
yeah, but I don't think you're meant to have.
Okay,
water.
so there's only one colour, Chris Ray.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm now, for the benefit of the listener at home, I'm now, good God, I have a wizard on my finger, and I have upended him, and I'm now dunking the brush, which sticks out the top of his head, into the paint.
I mean, that is taking very nicely to the brush.
Oh, it is?
that.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
now-
the blue looks like a sticker on his hat, basically. It doesn't
Okay.
look like anything.
I have a bit of paper here, and I'm,
Yeah.
Look at that.
painting.
Look at that.
It's like watercolor.
Wowee.
It's very watery.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm not going to lie. So how much coverage do you think we'd actually get out of this?
This could end up being quite a long podcast.
Yeah, I think we better keep going.
Talk among yourselves, everyone. We've entertained you enough. Well, it's definitely paint.
Yeah, well.
There you go.
So are we now supposed to put the hat back on him?
I think then you, seal him up.
Okay, seal him up.
And his hat is still wet with blue.
So now you
paint.
put him in your pocket.
Yeah,
and
stage
all,
your
shorts.
all that paint goes all over your beautiful pressed linen.
All of my Easter shorts. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! He's fallen through the microphone. Oh.
For the benefit of the listener at home, the wizard just tumbled through.
We've lost his hat. We've lost his hat.
Well, he must be
I'm
bereft.
going to go off mic for a second.
Oh, thank God. Well, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
It's behind you, John.
Well, where is it?
Does this
Oh,
behind
yeah,
your
it's all the
chair
way
there?
behind you. Hang on. You have to find it while
Go
we're
on,
on
John's
the
got
podcast.
it.
Oh, he's
John.
got it. That's
God,
all
this is real. This is
John.
Well, that was educational, Nick. So,
Yeah, no worries. I just thought, I thought it'd be fun to have some visual aids on
so
this
what is it
audio.
exactly you love about them? Because I'm struggling here.
I mean, they're shit,
Yeah,
and that's what I love about them.
I suppose.
I love how consistently shit they are.
I mean, I got to admit, the sheer inconsistency of them
Yeah.
is quite impressive.
They are consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember as a
Got to
kid.
appreciate that.
I remember as a kid on the occasions where we would get a Kinder Surprise, you would occasionally open the Kinder and have a little toy, and maybe it was a slightly
Better.
decent version of what you've just brought to the table
Oh,
here.
almost definitely.
Maybe a slightly better one, and then it might come with a bit of paper, and it goes, collect
Yeah,
all
collect
30.
all.
Oh, that's how
Yeah.
they get you. That's how they get you.
But that's a massive fuck you from a Kinder Corporation, because they're like, you're never going to get them.
I've still got a couple of my Kinder toys. They're
Yeah.
they were little tortoises that wore outfits,
Oh, it's adorable.
and I collected them.
Tiny terrapins.
Maybe.
I used to collect the tiny terrapins.
There you go.
You
That's
say-
another thing we've got in common.
You say collect as if you had more than one.
I did have more than one.
How did you do
I had
that?
two.
Well, I had like 3, I think.
Right,
Dark
we could
God
put them together.
did you
best.
give your soul to?
But there were like 10.
We could put them together and see which ones we've both got.
I don't know if I've still
Oh,
got
for
mine.
God's sake!
I'd like
moved
to
on.
see yours though.
Yeah,
I saw
I'll
a
get
full
'em.
set on eBay. I actually thought about tiny terrapins the other day, and I googled it, went on eBay, full set, 70 quid.
That is mental.
Plastic tat, 70 quid.
I say, speaking of the king of plastic tat, old
Wizard boy.
paint hat over there. The most distressing thing is how, as both these toys have a distinctly 1970s feel to them, how long was that multi-pack of Kinder Surprise hanging on a shelf
no.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Does it go off?
No.
Over time, when they get a mouldy Kinder, do they just shed the chocolate and reskin it
I
again?
reckon they do,
thing is,
yeah.
the underlayer is white, so you probably wouldn't be able to tell for a while, anyway. Would you?
No, it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
Just think, like, the dinosaurs, 65 million years ago, they died. They were fossilised deep in the earth. And gradually, the pressure of new tectonic formed land masses crushed what was left of their organic matter and turned it into oil, which we then, many millions of years later, harvested and created into plastic. We turned them into that.
Kinder eggs.
There's a brachiosaur rolling in his grave right now.
Well, no, he's there. He's right there.
He died so that we might live.
So the wizard hat could
This
live.
this might be an urban legend, but I've heard it said that Kinder Surprise can't be sold in the US.
Really?
Why?
Yes, because they
They
have
don't like surprises.
no, because
He can't handle it. Oh my god!
no, because it's like you're selling chocolate with a great big lump of plastic in the middle. So technically, it's
They think that people will just eat it.
choking hazard.
Oh,
Okay, for our US listeners then, Kinder Surprise is a little chocolate egg, very thin chocolate, which when you crack open, inside there's a plastic capsule, inside of which there's a toy.
Yes.
That brings you up to date with what Kinder Surprise is.
That is exactly what it is.
That's insane. I don't think anyone is stupid enough to just eat a Kinder Egg whole.
I shake the hand of the man who could eat a whole Kinder Surprise.
Well, there we go.
Well, that was delightful. Because format is king, what do we think won? Love or hate tonight?
I can guess what Chris is going to say.
Yeah, hate.
I mean, I kind of
I
feel-
actually would think love, actually.
Really?
Really?
This time,
That's
yeah.
controversial. I would, while I'm loath to resort to hate, and you did bring visual aids.
I know, right?
To a
That
audio format.
Wizard is so powerfully shit.
It's hard to be able to say that
Yeah.
love.
I mean, I want to feel sorry for it, but I'm just looking at it properly, and
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It is a bit
It's
shit.
got to be hate. That wizard, actually, Nick, I appreciate the effort, but it was a miscalculation on your part.
Oh, well. It was worth a shot, wasn't it?
You should have brought a better Kinder toy.
I
to be
should
honest.
have. Well, I wish I could control this.
Get the tiny terrapins next time.
If I could step on more drains and get more luck, I'd have probably got something better.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's hate for me.
Okay, that's unusual.
So you're a love.
I'd say love because I enjoyed the Kinder.
It's hate for me as well.
Oh, well, that is it's role reversal.
Yeah,
I know.
Isn't it, then?
I hope you've learned a powerful lesson about choosing love.
I'll never do it again.
Superstition, boy!
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Well, Nick, you went to the effort of bringing toys. Is there anything you'd like to say by way of...
I just like to appeal to the Kinder, Big Kinder, basically.
Big Kinder,
Big
yeah.
Kinder Corporation. I'd just like to say, when I was a kid, I genuinely hoped that when I opened up my little egg, there would be like a SNES in there. And there never was. So sort it out, guys, sort it out. That'd be great.
There are SNES's Big Kinder, who I thought was the CEO for some reason when you said it. I'm Big Kinder.
I love this idea to micro fit a SNES into a Kinder egg. It's never going to happen.
We need some shrinking tech, don't we?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Oddly enough, Big Kinder was the name of Boss Baby when it was translated from the Norwegian.
Big Kinder!
It was called Disrespectful Kinder. Yeah, well, I guess this has been a show called Hate.
It's been...
Certainly has been a show.
I certainly hope you've enjoyed the show, and if you have, why not tell a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go.
Please tell your friends.
Go on Facebook, search a show called Hate. Come onto the page. Share your hates with us. We might say them on the show. Might not.
Yeah, come have a little chat.
There will be a photo of these Kinder toys, though. So that's incentive enough, I'd say.
Yeah. Come on down. And also, if you want to leave us a review,
Oh yeah,
Only
yeah.
glowingly positive
only
reviews.
5 stars or however the system
Only,
works.
I don't want any others.
And it's important to remember, like, even if you haven't listened to any of our episodes, it never gets better than this.
No.
So
This is around the standard, yeah.
You're on the peak right now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
keep it in.
ride that high. Whatever you're feeling right now, condense that into a review. That'd be great.
Do it now. Do it now. You're thinking about doing something else. You've got to empty the dishwasher. Don't do it. Just go write a review.
Yeah, because your kind words, your votes, your spreading, telling your friends. That's how we'll grow.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Thanks, team.